My beloved child, listen to me now. I am not calling you to revisit pain endlessly. I am calling you to see it accurately. The enemy aimed to break you, but instead you became stronger. The pressure was meant to silence you, but instead you learned discernment. The struggle was meant to harden you, but instead it softened you with wisdom. That is not loss. That is transformation. Your authority now is not theoretical. It hath been tested. You know what it feels like to be pressed and still stand. You know what it feels like to doubt and still move forward. You know what it feels like to feel weak and still endure. That knowledge cannot be taken from you. It did not come from books or teachings. It came from lived experience under my covering. I want you to stop seeing yourself as someone who barely survived. You are someone who was refined. You are not fragile. You are forged. You are not behind. You are seasoned. Carry this understanding with humility, not pride. Authority rooted in humility is powerful because it does not need to prove itself. Moving forward, do not be surprised if opposition still notices you. That does not mean danger is increasing. It means your light is clear. But you will not face it the same way anymore. You will face it with awareness, not confusion. With peace, not panic. With trust, not fear. You know now that struggle does not mean abandonment. You know now that pain can serve purpose. You know now that darkness reacts because light is present. Let this truth settle deep within you. The attacks you faced were proof of what you carry. They were not signs that you were losing. They were signs that you mattered. And you are still standing, not because you fought perfectly, but because I held you faithfully. Walk forward with confidence grounded in truth, not bravado. You are not walking into the future untested or unaware. You are walking with authority formed through endurance, guided by me, and covered as always. My beloved child, I placed a guard around you even when you could not see it. There were moments in your life when danger was closer than you realized, when harm was already moving in your direction, when one small shift could have changed everything. You did not always sense it. You did not always feel fear. But I was there, watching, redirecting, intervening quietly. Your survival was not accidental. Your preservation was not luck. It was intention. There were near misses you dismissed as coincidence. Moments you called good timing or random chance. A delay that frustrated you. A change of plan that felt inconvenient. A door that closed when you were sure it should open. In those moments, you could not see what I was diverting. You could not see the path you almost took, the harm that waited there, the weight that would have fallen on you had you arrived a moment earlier or later. I redirected you without announcement because protection does not always announce itself. I know there were times you questioned why things did not work out the way you expected. You wondered why certain relationships ended suddenly, why certain opportunities slipped away, why certain places never felt right even when they looked promising. You felt disappointment, even grief. But what you could not see was how I was guiding you away from harm that would have cost you deeply. I spared you from things that would have wounded your spirit in ways that would take years to heal. I placed a guard around you in moments when you felt most exposed. Nights when your heart felt vulnerable. Seasons when your mind felt heavy. Times when you were unsure of your footing. You thought you were standing alone, but you were never unguarded. Even when you felt weak, the covering around you did not weaken. My presence does not depend on your awareness. I am present because I choose to be. There were moments when you came close to making decisions that would have altered your life painfully. Words you always said, steps you almost took, commitments you always made. I intervened gently. I stirred unease. I slowed your pace. I placed hesitation where certainty would have harmed you. You thought it was anxiety or confusion. It was protection. I was not confusing you. I was shielding you. Angels were assigned to guard you, not because you demanded it, not because you earned it, but because your life carried purpose worth protecting. Heaven does not dispatch guardians without reason. You were not overprotected. You were valued. They watched over paths you did not see, guarded moments you do not remember, stood between you and harm when you were unaware of the danger. You were not spared because you were lucky. You were spared because you were covered. I want you to understand this deeply now, because trust grows when memory is refrained. Look back and notice how many times you should have been broken but were not. How many times fear should have overtaken you but did not. How many times circumstances should have swallowed you but somehow released you instead. That was not your strength alone. That was my hand holding the weight so it would not crush you. I was present when you walked through places that could have consumed you. Present when you faced people who meant harm but could not complete their intentions. Present when words were spoken against you that should have shattered your confidence but did not fully take root. I limited what was allowed to reach you. I filtered what could touch your spirit. I did not promise you a life without danger, but I promised you a life not left undefended. There were moments when you wondered why you were still standing when others were not. That question carried guilt for you. You wondered why you were spared, why you survived, why you escaped when others fell. Do not carry that guilt. Survival does not mean superiority. It means assignment. I preserved you because your story was not finished. I guarded you because what you carry is still needed. Even when you wandered, I did not remove the guard. Even when you doubted, I did not withdraw my presence. Protection is not fragile. It does not shatter when you question. It does not disappear when you hesitate. My faithfulness does not rise and fall with your clarity. I remained steady while you learned. I remained watchful while you grew. You did not always feel protected because protection is often quiet. It works best when it does not draw attention to itself. Loud protection can create fear. Quiet protection builds trust over time. Now I am allowing you to see what you could not see then, not to frighten you, but to reassure you. You were never as exposed as you thought. You were never as alone as you felt. You were never as vulnerable as your emotions suggested. Type I trust God's perfect timing if you believe delay is only preparation, not denial. And share this video